What's up, YouTube? Tenchi Arizonia, the angry Dracolope of the Dracolope crew here. And yes, I have another video for you today. I'm on a roll this week. And this time it is my review of this. The Cold Steel Roach Belly. Now, as you know, I primarily use this knife for food prep in lieu of chef's knives. I've been using it for about a month at this point, maybe a little more, and I do have some opinions on it. Now, before I start this review, I'm just going to say, if you're one of those people who is a complete steel snob and will not buy anything that is not a super steel, i.e. something that would be 3V, then this video is not for you, and you may as well not watch the review because you're not going to like this knife. For the rest of you, however, stay tuned because this is a good knife. So, without further ado, let me get on with it. First off, we have a moulded plastic sheath. Honestly, it's one of the better ones out there. And I actually like this sheath more than I like the Mora's plastic sheaths, and I'm going to show you why once I remove the knife. Now, as you can see, this sheath has little ramps on the inside that clamp around the handle. Very interesting design in my opinion. It's not as good retention as Kydex, but it does retain the blade very well. The sheath also features a drainage hole in the bottom, and I will say this, if you do look at the sheath from the inside, you'll think there are 3 drainage holes because it is so smooth on the inside. So that's the sheath. The belt clip as well on this sheath I do like, just because the sheer design means once it is on your belt, it is locked in and you have to push it out quite a ways to get it back off your belt. Like I said, good design. Prefer this more than the Mora sheaths. Then we move on to the blade itself. The Roach Belly in this case, as I said. And again, I really do like this blade. It's a satin finish on Krupp's 4116 stainless steel. A polymer handle. I can't remember if it's FRN or some other polymer. I'll put that in the description if I remember. Good belly on the blade. Very nice sweep. And I believe, I could be wrong on this, I believe it is actually a saber ground blade. Looking at it in the light, I do not see any concaveness to the grind, which would indicate a hollow grind, and I do not feel it running my hands up and down the broad of the blade. So I'm going to say this is a saber grind. If I'm wrong, well, that stuff happens. As I said again, it is Krupp's 4116 stainless steel, and it's a steel I did not used to like. Sorry about that, I've got a bit of a cold. As I said, it was a steel I did not used to like. However, my opinion has changed. It is very easy to sharpen and takes a razor sharp edge. Now, people will say that it's a very low end steel, that it doesn't hold an edge. That has not been my experience. This knife still has the factory edge. And I'm going to show you that edge. Now, if you're saying that Krupp's 4116 does not hold an edge, then quite honestly, you are bloody insane. Because my inadequacies with paper slicing notwithstanding, that edge is still as sharp as the day I got this knife. And I have used it on steak, I have used it on various potatoes, and winter potatoes here in the UK can be rather tough before they're cooked, and potatoes in general are pretty tough. I've literally cut through steak with it, through ribeye steak, through the bone in lamb chops with this knife, and I have not dulled the edge. That is the factory edge after a month's worth, if not more, of food prep. And as you can see, it is still sharp. Apart from when I don't get the edge alignment correct. Which I will admit does happen quite often. You see I didn't get the edge alignment there, but once you get the edge alignment spot on, it will certainly cut. So, yeah, people who say that Crux 4116 does not retain an edge are clearly not using these knives, because honestly the only thing I'm going to need to do to this knife right now is strop it. Now the ergos on this knife, wow, just wow. Not a single hot spot to be found holding this knife, be it in the forward grip or in the reverse. And given the acute point of this blade, the very acute point I might add, this would be a good defensive blade, because this bugger would stab deep, and I do mean deep. So you've seen it retains its edge, and this is after a month of use. It might need a little bit of stropping, but yeah, that is still its factory edge. I'm not going to run it through my full run of sharpening plates on my workshop. I'm just going to strop it. So, how do I rate this knife? Well, I'm going to give this one 5 stars. And I'm going to tell you why it's getting 5 stars. For the ergonomics, in fact there's no hotspots whatsoever, 5 stars. Sheath design, even though I typically don't like moulded plastic sheaths, and I've said this before, this is my one complaint with the Moras, 5 stars. It's a very well executed sheath, despite the fact it's moulded plastic. Blade shape, plenty of belly. This will be a good little hunting knife actually. Again, blade shape and edge retention, yes, I said it, edge retention, 5 stars. And most importantly, price point. This knife here in the UK is one of Cold Steel's cheaper offerings, under £50. In fact, the only other Cold Steel I have that's in a similar price range, and it's a really crude comparison to call it a similar price range because it's the cheapest knife I have found by Cold Steel, is the Kudu. Same blade steel. And the Kudu, again, is a very good knife. But this one, as fixed blades go, perfect as a kitchen knife, as a hunting knife, and possibly, if you don't live in a law that could get you arrested for defending yourself, live in a country that has laws that could get you arrested for defending yourself, then a defensive blade. So overall with this one, 5 stars. And to quote Wingman 115, it is a grand slam. To quote the angry Dracolope, it gets the Dracolope seal of approval and Icon has. And I'm going to give you a little bit of insider info now. I'm actually working on my own seal of approval. You've seen the Dracolope on most of my videos. He's even in the intro of this one. And at some point in the very near future, I'm going to be Well, isn't that typical? I ran out of recording time. That's how much I like this knife. Anyway, as I was saying before my phone rudely stopped recording on me, you bastard, I will in the very near future be modifying the Dracolope that you see in the intro of my videos to be a seal of approval. And if ever I rate something 4 stars or above, it will get that seal of approval. And thank you to the Angry Jackalope for giving me that idea. And if you don't already subscribe to the Angry Jackalope, Iratus Jackalope, then go subscribe to him. I'm going to put a link to his channel in the description below. And I'll also put a link to his other channel, the Robert Ricks channel. Go subscribe to that as well. He's a good guy, telling you. So, as I said, this is 5 stars, a Grand Slam, an Angry Jackalope icon has, and it is Dracolope approved. So, get you one. Anyway, that's all for now. If you like it, please subscribe, comment and share. And remember, be good to each other.